The first thing I noticed wasn't the blue lights. It was the silence. That heavy, stretched kind of silence that settles in before something goes wrong when your body knows it, before your mind catches up. I was easing my car to the shoulder hands, already moving to the wheel like muscle memory had been wired into me years ago, and I remember thinking, here we go. The officer stepped out slow, not casual, not rushed, deliberate. One hand floating just a little too close to his belt, like he wanted me to notice it without actually saying so. I watched him in my side mirror the way you watch weather rolling in measuring distance speed damage. Afternoon, he said, but there was no warmth in it, no curiosity either, just a statement of control. I rolled the window down and nodded. Afternoon, officer. He leaned in slightly, not enough to invade my space, just enough to remind me whose space this was supposed to be. License and registration. I reached for my wallet slowly, deliberately, the way you do when you've been taught that calm isn't optional, it's survival. I handed everything over, met his eyes steady. He didn't smile, didn't nod, just looked at the card like it annoyed him that it existed. You know why I stopped you? He asked. I'm not sure I said. Was I speeding? You rolled through that stop sign back there. He pointed vaguely behind us like the street itself was his witness. This neighborhood takes traffic laws seriously. I almost laughed at that. Almost. Instead I said, if I didn't come to a full stop, I apologize. I'm new around here. That did it. New, huh? His eyes flicked over my car, my clothes, my face. Nice vehicle. What brings you to this area? There it was. Not the stop sign. Not safety. Curiosity wrapped in suspicion. Work, I said, and handed him the registration. He took it, paused. Out-of-state plates. Yes, sir. He studied me for a moment longer than necessary, then straightened up. Sit tight. As he walked back to his cruiser, I felt something shift, not outside, but in me. The old feeling. The one I'd known since my 20s. The one that said, this isn't about what you did. It's about who he thinks you are. Asterisk. I watched him through the mirror, typing radio crackling softly. I couldn't hear the words, but I knew the tone. I'd heard it from the other side of the conversation years ago. That shorthand cops use when they think no one's listening. The assumptions that never make it into reports. He came back different, straighter, louder. Step out of the vehicle. I blinked. May I ask why? Standard procedure. It wasn't. And he knew it. We both did. Still, I opened the door and stepped out slowly. Hands visible, heart steady in that strange way that comes when you've decided something important. He guided me to the hood, told me to place my hands down, feet back. His touch during the pat-down wasn't rough, but it wasn't necessary either. It was performative. For him, for anyone watching, and people were watching. A woman across the street paused with her dog. A car slowed. Someone lifted a phone. Why are you here again? He asked, as if repetition might catch me slipping. I relocated for work. What kind of work? I hesitated just a beat. Law enforcement. That earned me a chuckle. Security, something like that. He told me to sit on the curb while he verified a few things. The concrete was warm. Dust clung to my suit. I stared straight ahead, breathing through something that felt a lot like anger, but older, more controlled. He eventually came back with a warning. Not a ticket. A warning. Next time, he said, handing my papers back, make sure you stop completely. We patrol this area regularly. I nodded. Understood. As I drove away, perfectly signaling my turn, my hand shook, not from fear. From restraint, from everything I didn't say. 2 days later, I walked into a conference room downtown and took my seat at the head of the table. No announcement, no ceremony. Just me, a stack of folders, and a screen waiting to be turned on. I'd spent years climbing quietly, learning systems, watching people confuse authority with entitlement. I'd learned something else, too, that the truest version of someone comes out when they think you're powerless. The door opened. He walked in. Same officer, same posture, same confidence until his eyes met mine. There's a moment when recognition isn't instant. It unfolds. Confusion first, then memory, then realization sharp and sudden like cold water. His face drained, not fear, understanding. I didn't say his name. I didn't need to. We watched the footage together. The stop, the tone, the escalation. Every second recorded without emotion, without commentary. Just facts. When it ended, I closed the laptop. This isn't about revenge, I said calmly. It's about pattern. I slid a folder across the table, then another. Complaints, reports, numbers that told a story no one wanted to read out loud. He tried to explain it first. Training, instincts, experience. I listened. Then I asked one question. At what point did you decide I didn't belong? Silence. I offered him a choice. Accountability with work reflection change or formal proceedings that would end his career. He took the long road. Months passed. Policies shifted. People resisted. Others stepped forward quietly relieved to finally be heard. I stayed steady through it all. No speeches, no victory laps. A year later, I stood in a community center watching kids laugh, officers talk without armor in their voices. I saw him there too, older, humbler, helping a little girl adjust her helmet. He caught my eye, nodded once. I nodded back. Power didn't change me, it revealed them. And sometimes that's enough. So let me ask you, do you think authority shows who people really are? Or does it just give them permission to stop pretending? Let me know what you think.